What's up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and welcome back to another bonus episode for Fire Emblem Engage. For this episode, our topic is money. I spent a lot of time during the Let's Play talking about different things that need money because you need a surprising amount of it for things like donations to the different kingdoms, buying weapons, buying healing stuff, refining your weapons. It's a lot. And I always said during those points that I would make a guide on how to easily get as much money as you would ever need. So that is what I want to do today. And more specifically, I want to go over a little monster I've created. This is Anna, and she is going to be our main focal point for today. But to start off, I want to talk about how to get Anna. So, you have to wait until Chapter 6, or after you beat Chapter 6, more specifically, in order to get Anna as a unit, because once you beat Chapter 6, the second paralogue of the game opens at the Bandit Hideout, and your main reward, actually, for beating the second paralogue is Anna joining your team as another unit. But yeah, that's basically all there is to say about that. But I want to go into more detail about Anna herself. And to do that, I'm actually going to take off my model because I want to show her unique skill, Make a Killing, which you may obtain 500 G when this unit defeats a foe. And it's triggered based on her luck stat. Basically, the trigger percentage is the exact same as her luck stat is. So, the main goal of this build is to increase Anna's luck as much as physically possible. The bad thing is, when you get Anna, she starts off as an axe fighter, which is probably one of the worst classes that she could start off as. And the other thing to keep in mind is that this tutorial kind of changes based on if you have access to the DLC or not. There are also a lot of guides online for this, but a lot of them go into a lot of really detailed numbers that I'm just simply not going to go into, because at the end of all this, all of her stats should be maxed. So all of her stats should basically be exactly what my stats are by the end of this, regardless of what method you use. As long as you use one of the two methods. So I want to first start off by talking about if you don't have DLC. And to start off, you want to give Anna Emblem Micaiah. Because if we go into Micaiah's reference sheet, she gives staff proficiency, knife proficiency, and magic proficiency, which are all really good and things that Anna needs to have. If you don't have DLC, this is the best route, and you have to get Anna to bond level 9 with Micaiah in order to get these, which is really easy to do with bond fragments in the arena. So it should not be a difficult thing to do. But once you get Anna to bond level 9 with Micaiah, I would say she has to be level 10 to do this, but once she gets level 10, you want to change her class as soon as possible. And I would recommend, with those 3 proficiencies that she has, to go to the class of Mage, because this makes her, I know it doesn't look like it because my Anna is maxed out and everything, but it makes her have more magic buildup. And what that does is, since her magic capability is better than her physical capability, increasing her magic as much as possible in the early stages of this build makes her a lot better at becoming a killing machine, basically. And what you want to do at the beginning is maximize her killing potential. And you want to get her to at least level 10 when she is a mage. But that's basically as far as she can go. She can be a mage several times, but that's basically as far as she can go until you get access to a second emblem ring, specifically Emblem Byleth. Will get arts proficiency. And with arts proficiency, that gives Anna the option of becoming an advanced class. And that advanced class would be the High Priest. And basically, no matter which route you take with this, you want Anna to end up being a High Priest because it has one of the better luck yields and it still increases her magic. So increasing those two stats are your biggest priority, and High Priest is basically the best class that she can become to have those two proficiencies increase as much as possible. And the last thing to make the build is that Byleth also gives increases to luck. And what you need to do is basically Anna's just going to keep Byleth because Byleth gives a lot of luck. And she really needs luck for her build to be successful. And Byleth at rank, I believe 19. Yeah, at rank 19, he gives 12 luck. Like plus 12 extra luck. Which is incredible for this build. And because a unit can only have plus 20 to any singular skill, you only need to inherit up to luck plus 8 in order to get up to 20. And if I show Anna once more, you can see that I have it in a different way, but you can only have plus 20 in any one stat, which means her base value is 39, but you can get it all the way up to 59 using this method. But the second method, using DLC, I guess I should talk about the main downside of non-DLC. And I'm going to put a major spoiler warning right here, in case you have not seen the game, but want to know how to get money in the game for some reason. So here's your chance to skip ahead. I'll put a timestamp on screen when I talk about the DLC, but this is a major spoiler warning. But with that being said, the major spoiler warning is that all of your beginning emblem rings get taken at Chapter 10. So if you do not have Anna to bond level 6 with Micaiah by Chapter 10, you lose Micaiah. And then this method becomes impossible because there are no other emblems that give either staff or magic that you get after that point. So you physically cannot become a mage or become a high priest without those two, making this method impossible. So you have to wait until Chapter 19 when you get Micaiah back in order for this to become possible again. But with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about the DLC, because it gives us two very big upsides. And those upsides, if I go to my emblem rings, Tiki and Soren. Because Tiki gives art proficiency at bond level 6, completely skipping the need to get to bond level 9 or to even use Byleth in the first place. She completely circumvents that, meaning you can become a high priest faster, making her better at making you money quicker. But Soren also gives you proficiencies in knife, magic, and staff by bond level 16, which means it is longer than Micaiah, or costs more than Micaiah. But it means that even after losing the ability to use to get Micaiah's proficiencies, you have Soren there always. So it is not a major downside. Tiki also gives two other benefits, which I can show right here actually, because Tiki is equipped to Anna. If I go ahead and remove my model once more, it is that Tiki gives Star Spear, which is a giant one, because that increases the amount of stat points that Anna gets per level up, meaning you do not have to do as many cycles of High Priest to get her to max stats. But it is also that it allows Anna to become a different beginning class. That class being the Martial Monk class, if we go here. And basically, between Anna becoming a Martial Monk and Anna having Tiki, which gives her extra stats per level up, she actually increases her luck faster than if she was a mage. She doesn't get as many points into her magic, which is the main downside. So I would actually still probably recommend going mage instead of Martial Monk. But if you are going purely off of the luck stat, Martial Monk plus Tiki is how you get the highest luck stat as soon as possible. But from that point, it's relatively the same as the no DLC route. Either you're a mage, which means it's exactly the same, or you're a Martial Monk, and either way you become a High Priest, and then with Anna having Tiki, you can actually give her, removing my model once again, you can give her HP and plus luck plus 10 instead of just luck. And since Tiki also gives luck plus 10, you can make Anna much more difficult to defeat, considering she has 20 extra HP, making her much better at being a tank. And since we are going until her luck is maxed out, she will always end up at 59, meaning her make a killing skill will always have 59% chance of being activated every time she defeats a foe. But now, since our Anna is fully trained and fully equipped, it is time for us to farm for some gold. And the first step is going to the world map. And once you are on the world map, you can see in the bottom left-hand corner, the second column of icons means gold skirmishes. And we can see that we have one on screen. And the gold skirmishes, as seen right here, you can go to it and they will have certain either corrupted or bandits or enemies that are gold enemies, and they give you extra gold whenever you defeat them. So if you see one on your map, you go ahead and just begin the scrimmage. And once you get into the main part of the battle, you want to unselect every single unit other than Anna. You want Anna to be the only one here to maximize how many units she gets to fight, which maximizes how many opportunities you have of getting gold. And I'm actually going to put her right here to maximize how many units can reach her as quickly as possible. The next thing you want to do is actually go to System and go to Settings and turn off combat animation, staff and dance animation, and engage animation. This makes it so that the turns go quicker, and even if you aren't skipping, the fights go much faster. And you also want to have your game speed on high or on fast, but I always have game speed on fast, so there's that. And then you just want to start the fight. And basically, how I do these fights is I just go to the side, I hit end turn, and then I just mash the skip button. And basically, the units will run towards her, and I just defeated a gold enemy, but that gives us 1,500 gold, and her make a killing skill activates, giving us another 500. So that's 2,000 gold from one enemy. And then all you have to do is just keep skipping through, and you just keep ending turn, or if you get low on health, you can wait with Tiki, because Tiki's other skill heals you if you wait. But also being a high priest gives Anna one other benefit, and that is that she has the ability of healing herself with staves. So even if you don't have Tiki, you can just heal yourself if you have a staff, being a high priest at level 5 at least. But this is basically the main method of fighting them, and once you get down to a couple of units, you want to try to take out the mages that have L Thunder because they will stay farther away from you. And you have to take them out manually in order for you to actually be able to fight them. Because like you saw there, he walked a step back and tried to escape fighting me. So we are just going to take out this one. And you can't see the level ups because my Tiki's already maxed out. But this is by far the fastest method of actually fighting and getting gold in the game. You can also do training, which gives you 5,000 gold at the end of training. But I find that this method gives you between 5,000 between 5,000 gold and 11,000 gold on average. So I much prefer doing this method in order to get the gold. Alright, back on the main map. You can see that there are no more gold skirmishes, so I want to show what to do if there are no gold skirmishes. And the main thing you need to do is you need to go out of the game and go to your options. And then you want to scroll all the way down to system and go to date and time. And you want to make sure that synchronized clock via internet is off. And then you want to go to date and time and change either the day or the month. I'm just going to go up by 1 day and hit OK. And then we want to go back into the game and you want to hit a loading screen. It doesn't matter which loading screen. So if you have the DLC, this is a lot easier. And you can just go over to the left here and go into the Divine Paralogs island. But if you don't have the DLC, going to the Somniel and coming back works just as well. So I'm just going to go to the Divine Paralogs. You can see that new skirmishes have loaded in, and you can see in the bottom left-hand corner that there are now 2 more gold skirmishes in the world map, meaning that this is the main method I use to grind a bunch of gold, and it is very easy just to switch your clock in order to make more appear if you don't have any. But I have just a couple of final thoughts about this method. The first is that it's a decently easy grinding method, and I really like it. Especially because every other grinding method, like training and everything, takes a lot longer than this. And Anna, once she started, is a monster. But that is the biggest downside of this method as well, is that it relies on one unit, Anna, and it takes her a bit to be set up. And like I said at the beginning, she's the worst class probably that she could possibly be. So it takes you a good couple of hours of just grinding her with emblems and with getting levels to get different classes and everything. It takes a while for her to get online and to make her strong enough to where she can be the only unit on the battlefield and not just get defeated. But like I also said, you make probably 5,000 to 11,000 gold per battle, making it really good once it's done. And the last thing I want to end this video on is I want to thank Link King 7 for his guide on how to make Anna this monster of a unit. Because his guide is the one I used to make my Anna, and is where I got a lot of this information from to make my own guide on this topic as well. So I just wanted to thank him. But with that being said, I think this is going to be the end of the guide. So I hope that everyone enjoyed watching. If this guide is helpful at all, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, happy adventuring.